Are you looking for the best smartwatches? In this video we will look at some of the 6 best smartwatches on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Apple Watch Series 10. The Series 10 is truly a case of the best for most, whether you're a fitness enthusiast, sleep data nerd, or just someone who likes to check your notifications without pulling out your phone. It has all the basic functions of a good fitness tracker, including monitoring for runs, bike rides, and strength training. That, paired with its passive monitoring of things like your steps and heart rate, make it a viable option for those who like to keep an eye on their health but don't need precise data about today's run being faster than yesterday's. On the health front, the Series 10 can monitor your blood oxygen levels, though it's not a diagnostic tool, your heart rate, and any irregular rhythms, and your ovulation cycle. The display features an always-on screen that's bright enough to see even in full sunlight and provides information at a glance without having to raise your wrist. Apple says it can last up to 18 hours on a single charge and can go as long as 36 hours when kept in low-power mode, though that disables the always-on display, heart rate and blood pressure monitoring, and automatic workout tracking. I usually charge mine once a day to be safe, but you can get about a day and a half out of it if you need to. If you're using an iPhone, you'll get the best smartwatch experience with an Apple Watch. It integrates better with iOS than a third-party watch. No other watch that works with the iPhone will allow you to download apps from the App Store, which can significantly expand your watch's capabilities. At number 2. Apple Watch SA 2nd Gen, GPS 40mm. If you're new to the smartwatch game or are an intermediate athlete who doesn't need every metric possible, you should consider the more affordable Apple Watch SA. It starts out $200 cheaper than the Series 10, comes in slightly smaller 40mm and 44mm sizes, lacks ECG and blood oxygen monitoring, and doesn't have an always-on display. That said, it still covers all the bases of a good smartwatch. It can track your workouts, monitor your heart rate for peaks and lows as well as irregular rhythms, and track sleep and ovulation cycles, though the Series 10 also has the ability to give retrospective ovulation estimates, plus fall and crash detection. At number 3. Apple Watch Ultra 2. The Ultra 2's 49mm display may seem alarmingly large, but even with my fairly small wrists, the display never feels cumbersome or overly flashy. The extra screen space allows for a more information-dense watch face that can display more complications, widgets, on a single screen to show you the weather conditions, your daily tasks, calendar events, or sleep and fitness tracking. Even if you're not heavy on fitness, you may appreciate the extra room if you hate squinting down at your wrist. The Ultra 2 has an additional button on the left side of the display known as the Action button. You can program it to quickly trigger a workout, timer, the watch's flashlight mode, or run a custom shortcut automation. Unlike the standard Apple Watch, the Ultra 2 is a bit trickier to fit to your wrist. If it's not set right, the position will depend on your wrist. It can dig into your skin a bit, which causes a good deal of discomfort. That's not an issue once you figure out your sweet spot, but it's not as straightforward as other smartwatches. The Series 10 is still an excellent option for most smartwatch users, but the Ultra 2's additional tweaks make it worthwhile for anyone who truly swears by getting things done on their wrist. At number 4. Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 40mm GPS. If you're on Android, especially a Samsung device, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 is the best smartwatch you can get. It works with any Android device that runs at least version 8 of Android, making it more compatible with other devices than an Apple Watch, though it's still tied to Android. Its 44mm casing didn't look too big or small on my wrist and made glancing at notifications from a distance squint-free. The Watch 7 is slightly larger than last year's model and has a larger display that is easier to read, but it still looks good and fits comfortably on the wrist. On the fitness front, the Watch 7 has all the same features as last year's Watch 6, including workout tracking for runs, swims, and bike rides, sleep tracking, and heart rate monitoring. You can use the watch without using Samsung's Health app, which has features like turn-by-turn directions while hiking or cycling, but not all features are accessible outside Samsung's first-party apps, which you'll have to use for things such as ECG monitoring and sleep apnea detection. Overall, you'll have to use 2 apps to totally manage the watch, Galaxy Wearable and Samsung Health. If you're already in the Samsung ecosystem, that won't be too much of a hassle, but you'll have to deal with a bit more friction if you're on a Google Pixel or other Android device. As with any smartwatch, battery life will vary depending on your usage. The more fitness tracking you do, the more you'll drain your battery. Things like the always-on display and push notifications will affect battery life, too. In general, though, even on days when I used the Watch 7 to track my long bike rides, I managed to get about a day out of a single charge with a bit of juice to spare, so I'd recommend recharging it every night before bed. Unlike last year's Galaxy Watch, this year's lineup doesn't have a classic model, which included a physical dial to navigate the system. It was one of my favorite features of the Watch 6 Classic, and I missed it while testing the Watch 7. The Galaxy Watch Ultra, Samsung's equivalent of the Apple Watch Ultra 2, has a dial, but that model is significantly more expensive than the Watch 7. It's a great option for those who love to track their health metrics, but those who just want a smartwatch with a fun dial have one fewer option than last year. At number 5. Google Pixel Watch 3 to 41mm. While I liked last year's Pixel Watch 2, this year's Watch 3 is an improvement in nearly every way. I tested it for 2 weeks while trying out Google's Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and in that time, it became my favorite Android-friendly smartwatch. The watch's screen, which features a domed display that gives it a unique look compared to the flat screen of the Galaxy Watch 7, now comes in both 41mm and 45mm sizes, which is a noteworthy improvement over Google's single-size offering on the Pixel Watch 2. Like Apple and Samsung's flagship smartwatches, the Pixel Watch 3 features an always-on display, which is brighter than the Watch 2's, all-day battery life, robust fitness tracking, and better notification management than Apple's software. On the health front, it can monitor your heart rate for irregular rhythms, with FDA-approved ECG alerts, has sleep and workout tracking, comes with 6 free months of Fitbit Premium, and has Fitbit integrations like more accurate heart rate monitoring, AFib detection, stress monitoring, and sleep tracking. It'll also track your heart rate in zones depending on the intensity of your workout and give you guidance on pacing to prevent you from pushing yourself too far. Just like the Apple Watch, the Pixel Watch 3 can automatically start tracking workouts when it notices a spike in your activity, so you can quickly toggle the watch into workout mode once you've already started. This year's Pixel Watch also has some nifty new fitness updates, such as custom or AI-generated running workouts, cardio load measurements, a running dashboard with form analysis, and loss of pulse detection, only in Europe for now. Last year, I praised Google's Pixel Watch 2 for not having any features exclusive to the Pixel line of phones. Unfortunately, that's not the case with this year's model. It's still true that the Pixel Watch 3 works better with Android devices made by manufacturers other than Samsung, but some minor features only work when paired with a Pixel phone. For instance, you can now unlock a Pixel phone automatically using the Pixel Watch 3 without having to use any biometrics or passcodes, just like on the Apple Watch, but this won't work if you have a non-Pixel Android phone. At number 6. Garmin Vívoactive 5. If you're not sure whether you can commit to Android or iOS for more than a year or two, or you like to lean heavily into the fitness aspect of wearables, get Garmin's Vívoactive 5, which works with both operating systems. Strategist writer Jeremy Relosa recommends this running watch for its subtle design and ability to track 25 different types of workouts, including cardio, HIIT, yoga, elliptical training, Pilates, golfing, cycling, and swimming, which is just a bit more than the other smartwatches we recommend. In addition to being a solid fitness tracker, the Vívoactive 5 has the longest battery life of any watch on this list, and it's not even close. This watch can last for up to 11 days on a single charge, meaning you might not even have to worry about bringing a charger with you if you're just going on a weekend trip. In exchange for longer battery life, you do lose the integration that true smartwatches like the Apple Watch and Pixel Watch offer. You won't be able to download the same apps, make payments from your wrist, or unlock your phone without passcodes or biometrics. Notification interactions are also more limited than what you can get with a first-party smartwatch. If you're mostly looking to track your workouts and stay on top of your health data, Garmin's tech can't be beat, but you won't get a full-blown smartwatch experience. For that, it's best to go with one of our other recommendations.